Hey everybody, we're once again back with Wargame, once again on Plunjing Valley. I was about to say Battlefield. Plunjing Valley. Against Meow, who I don't know. I like every now and then I played with or against him, but it's been quite a while since the last time. He's a brigadier general, so he's gotta be decent at the very least. But since practically no one plays ranked anymore for a couple of months now at least, doesn't say a whole lot anymore, as in he could be way above me or just quote unquote just a brigadier. So yeah, nowadays this kind of rank is more or less, like any kind of rank is, as I've said before, generally not saying much. Which isn't meant to be as like he's much worse in his rank, but more like he could be significantly better than one might think. Anyways, enough of that. I'm playing a bit around with Eastern Bloc. I'm gonna try out Model Strike in the OT62A. I think Putin has been using them a lot as well for a good amount of time now. I mean, their 5-pointer has 2 front armor, and the squad itself isn't particularly bad. But the 5-pointer also only has a 0.5 HEMG, and not a 0.75 like the Browning or the NSVT. And it's still 2 front armor, and the squad is still okay. And then at first I was also picking the Model Strike in the Vidra too. I want to try the AGS-17 first though. Since I have a good amount of infantry to spam, I might be able to get away with the AGS, which are less not particularly card efficient. And since I have card of these, which are 20 per card, which is pretty good, I might be able to get away with only having 2 cards of rifle infantry. If I'm feeling confident with the AGS-17, I might try to take the T-72 away, although that is still pretty good or pretty okay against IFVs, which the Vidra 2 can struggle against, especially since at 30 points I can't spam them as effectively. Anyways, what's our plan? Usually I would go for Boris, but I think I want to try something else. Let's see if we can go into feeder here. So I've also put back in the Pram S, by the way. I used to have the CPTU there. You know. Get the Prussian Michi squad for the edge just to get that here. He's playing Red Dragons, by the way, in case you didn't realize that from his message at the start. That should be enough for mid for the start. Definitely want to scout. I think we want to conquer some in this town as well. We want a mortar. We want an Oza. Another LSTR squad. Get like 2 squads of you. Like a Moderna. 72. And then a more Schützen squad. Right. Let's see how this goes. Unload in here. Scout unloads in there. You try to drive into there. You stay back at the start as well. Let's just get a preemptive trailer in this area. If we want to push up into war, so Dimitri, you can always move it up. And it's just a very card and point efficient unit. It's fine for Guard. It has 4 missiles ready and has 12 missiles you know, in total, you know, it's very self-sufficient as well with that, so that's nice. Get a second squad and see if we can move these up into that forest. C9A. I'm not sure why they're there, so I suppose we can keep them over here. If you can get into that, that'd be great, thank you. Get a T-72 from it. It's not gonna really do a whole lot, but you know, it's something. There's a tank. Let's get as well 2 more Schützen for this side, so we can potentially push into the town. Those are 16 AP 80 gems, so the SPW-80 would have been destroyed, although the LSTR should have been able to get out without any damage, although they would have had morale damage, most likely. Well, I did lose my Sneska here, which is bad news. They were pushed up a bit too far. Yep. Oh, really? It's B5. That's very interesting. The key with the AG-17 is to keep them at the back. On their own, when attacking, they're gonna die very quickly due to have only 5 HP. That's why you either want to simply have them in a defensive position, or you want them behind your infantry, or your other infantry that can actually tank. Let's get some Hydras, because again, defensive position very strong, because usually they are hard to detect due to their stealth, meaning they can often shoot at the enemy without getting shot at themselves. Oh, that's just, yeah. He doesn't really get any good rocket pod helicopters, so we're gonna be fine. Yeah, taking actually a lot more damage than I thought. So hope this town is still clear. Those are Strela or Igla buses, I'm sorry. You know, it's got an M2 Wilk as well, it's got a supply truck. Not necessarily worth it for the C-72 alone, but there's a good chance that we're just gonna use it later anyways. I think I don't really need more defensively other than the LSTR. And maybe like a Vitra in the forest. So he is in the town. Not necessarily surprisingly, but I think the smoke this off. I think the AG-17, if they get into this town, should be able to fire into this town from within the town. Well, let's get you into the forest first, please. Moderna is honestly in an awkward position. I need this infantry to clear this forest before moving up. Let's see it. Ah, too slow. He does have. You know what? Let's just get Strela, and then ASF later on. I think that's maybe better. It does, however, obviously, yeah, clear the way for B5 for him. It's not necessarily what I want. Honestly, it's actually just keep you turned on. Does have the Snezka, spot the Snezka because of the Liren in there. Don't shoot at the CSD, please. Let's get a Arm 70. I think the CTQ missed the first shot on the T-72, so that was very lucky. Just get this. This should hopefully be enough. With that. As you can see, the HS-17 even, because they're not getting spotted, being able to do good morale damage to vehicles. This is a very delicate situation I'm in right now. T-55s or T-62Ds, I don't know. Yeah, if he would have hit my rear armor, which I'm not sure if it showed, the Moderna would have been dead. It's B5 again. Oh, they caught out in the open, so that's nice. Where's my infantry? You know what? Let's just buy an ASF. It's kind of early since the B5 will still be reloading, but and then move this SPW-80 back so we can transport the Conquerors up into the town once we get the town. Let's also move you up. Let's work on getting this town back. Okay, don't be so Where's the arm 70? See if we can stun you properly. Okay, let's get a CV as well. Lijan, oh, that's very interesting. Arm 70 didn't really do particularly much, kind of as expected, but I suppose it's enough. We get to another LSTR squad. Queue up. Ah, now they're too far away. Oh, oh. Oh, isn't that interesting? Let's get another MO25. Right, you're gonna get PSV for that side then. That's not good. My CV is... Okay, I do need OSAs to deal with that P5. Just get 2 OSAs. We just have to micro them very diligently, I suppose you could say. Did lose his Nesca again here. They're calm now, so they hopefully should be able to deal with those ban tanks. We get a new scout in mid. Bomber. Yeah, it was clear that I was gonna die here, but I thought maybe I can at least deal some damage to it. Yeah, I mean, it is down to 1 HP, so I suppose that's as good as it can get. It's got some Mordschützen because it can actually fight in towns. 70 not really needed right now. Don't want you completely at the edge in case it's spotted. I would move you into the town, but you're currently just... Yeah, exactly. Right, Igla buses. Sure, it's... Where's the RM70? There it is. Also, honestly, let's just get a supply truck for this, and let's get a supply truck on this side as well. Just a seed plane. And that b5. And that seed plane. Perfect. Perfect. And that's GG. Yeah, the b5 was really annoying, that's for sure. And probably the last thing that kept him in the game was his air force, and now I crippled it very hard. Do you write accomplishment with 2C? I forgot. You do. I mean, he's kinda wrong. I see his point. But the problem, I mean, like I see his point, and I agree with him, but that doesn't make it good. Like Eastern Bloc also has everything. It isn't particularly great at anything, I'd say, but it also doesn't suck anywhere. You know? If you take a look at, let's say, Baltic Front, it also has everything. It isn't particularly great at tanks, but it's, let's say, really good at infantry. And in a way, Eastern Bloc is also like that, just mostly weaker in the infantry and air department, you know? God, how do you comparatively? I think that's how you write it. Sorry, I'm not talking, but I can't talk and write at the same time. It's not enough to be decent something, or have every base card need to something. mean, I completely get this point. I was at him. I was at a point as well where I just looked at the dragons and I'm like, except for infantry ATGMs, they don't really lack anything in particular. But that isn't enough to be a decent deck. Even if you were to ignore the DLC decks and the mixed decks, let's say, as well. That is just not enough. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, let's see what the B5 kill. That's actually what okay, alright, B5 kills don't show up because the B5 evacs most of the time before the bomb actually hits the ground. So that's why you very, very often don't see it in the kill nor loss list. It was still an interesting game. I'm still not sure what to think of AGS 17. They just can't do so much damage, but I think they're rather micro intensive. Then again, just one single match, and that on top of that, the match being against Red Dragons doesn't really show a lot. Armor 70 is still very, very inconsistent. I think if it had 30 round bursts, you know, if let's say 3 or 4 30 round bursts, it would be significantly better and help its consistency. But right now, it isn't quite there yet. Which is maybe how it should be, but just comparatively to, let's say, the Plum, and it's just a joke. But I think it's still the best thing you can get, and in certain situations can be very, very useful. I wouldn't really say it's a bad, but I think in 1v1s it can be very useful, coming with 4 salvos at the ready as well. Just a bit more suppression radius. I think it shows the suppression damage, but not the radius here. For comparison, is my Red Dragon deck. I was also trying out Legion 90 and WC551. The problem that I have with them is they're similar to Spetsnaz. I think for 1v1 they are too specialized, you know. So it's hard to make use of them. Legion doing 90. I think he had him in the season 90. I don't think he had any Sanchi the 5-pointer spam, which was surprising. And yeah, he had Legion 90, he had Lucian doing 90. This, and he had Bantank Fagots. Which are 5% more accurate than Milan ones, but have 1 less AP. They might also fly slower. I'm not sure what his 5th infantry card was. But yeah, that's where the BTR 60 piece came from. I don't know what his 5th infantry card was. Tank wise, I didn't see anything heavier than a John Maho 5. I'm not convinced by the B5, but it's him. Oh yeah, I had the SE100 in there just to experiment a bit. Anyways, enough rambling. I hope you still enjoyed it. Maybe I'll play some Commonwealth again in the future, I think. I haven't played that in a while. Also, I think I wanted to try something out with it that includes the Chimera. And I also was thinking of, okay, that's not what they're doing. I think what I wanted to do was Guards of Commanders 90, card of Fusilier 90s in a 5-pointer, then a card of Territorials, then Milan 2. Makes Fusilier 19 Territorials with M41A1s in forests. Chimera to fill in the gap of 100-ish point tank, because of AP I can't get it in a tank tab as well. And right, it has 7 RPM, not 6. Right. When I was theory crafting yesterday or recently, I was also thinking, right, it doesn't actually have a lower fire than the Challengers. It also obviously does not have a turret, but I think it can price wise compared more to the Challenger 1, but for 5 points more, having more AP and front armor, and I guess you could say lower deck cost for instead of a turret on the optics and the stabilizer, I think it can be quite useful, quite nice. You have to. I think it is quite micro heavy. If it ends up being in a big fight, like especially I think against close range M84s, you're gonna have big troubles because of the lower RPM and the significantly lower off-road speed and not having a turret. But I think against like low intensity front lines or medium intensity front lines, it can be really nice. And maybe it's even worth to get like 2 stacks of them. And not having a stabilizer can actually be very, very useful in certain situations where the enemy is using a lot of cheap fire support. What you do, if you have either line of sight, like if you, let's say, don't have direct line of sight, but you can still spot the enemy tank with another unit, what you can do is you can tell your Chimera to move and just keep right-clicking or just right-click on the enemy tank, and they will only stop moving once they can get line of sight on it and shoot. And since they have no stabilizer, they won't shoot at enemy meat shields while they are moving themselves. So not having a stabilizer can sometimes be quite helpful. That's why sometimes having a stabilizer malfunctioning on your super heavy can also be very helpful, believe it or not. Obviously not having turret is a much bigger deal, because that sometimes also or rather often also affects your aim time, because you have to and also can bring you in very dangerous situations. But I think the Chimera is a significantly underrated unit. Also, 12 side armor is nothing to sneeze at. The highest side armor of any unit in the game. The only infantry that can one-shot it to the side, except for, only non-ATG. I guess the 3 squads, I think. Maybe 4. What AP do the Kustjäger and ID have? Only 26 AP can side-shot it to the side, one-shot it to the side. Kustjäger, no, yeah. So only RBS 56, Milan 3, and Palparanti 90 can one-shot it to the side, I believe. I don't think there's any other infantry squad in the game. Realistically, it's most likely gonna be Palparanti 90, but yeah. But that's once again enough rambling, I think. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hopefully will see you next time.